Hello and welcome to India Business Hour. I'm Ashmit Kumar and here are the headlines that we're tracking this evening. As another choppy day ends on a weak note, Indian equities end a truncated trading week in the red. Sensex and Nifty lose 1% each over 3 days of trade. Nifty Bank has now ended lower for the fourth week in a row. Punjab National Bank's net interest income comes in higher than expected, while net profit comes in along expected lines. Asset quality is the best in 34 quarters. Cement major ACC reports a strong third quarter performance. JSW Steel largely beats estimates. Revenue is a slight miss. Ola says its India mobility business has turned EBITDA positive in FY23 with total revenues rising 48%. Consolidated EBITDA losses fall to 29 crores from 291 crores in FY22. Founder Bhavesh Agarwal says that the plan is to scale up the EV two-wheeler ride-hailing business in India. Adds that his team will evaluate an IPO for Ola cabs in due course. Prime Minister Modi and French President Macron hold a roadshow in Jaipur. Macron will be the chief guest at tomorrow's Republic Day parade, will become the fifth French president to do so. Both sides to hold important discussions on collaboration in the private sector, especially emerging areas and blue economy. 12 people confirmed dead amidst the fighting in and around a United Nations shelter in Khan Yunis, housing thousands of Palestinians. Egyptian President El-Sisi accuses Israel of holding up aid to Gaza. UK Foreign Secretary Cameron meets Netanyahu in Jerusalem, raises the importance of a two-state solution. US Navy shoots down 2 missiles after 2 Maersk shipping vessels dial SOS on the back of an explosion in the Gulf of Aden. Maersk says that the crew, the ship and cargo remain safe and unharmed. Maersk's US subsidiary has now suspended Red Sea transits. US aviation regulator bars Boeing from expanding the production of 737 MAX planes until the quality control issues are resolved. However, it has allowed the grounded MAX 9 planes to return to service after they were barred from flying since Alaska Air's mid-air window blowout incident. Tech giant Microsoft joins the $3 trillion market cap club, becomes the second company to cross the milestone after Apple. The rise in stock price is propelled by the company's AI opportunity.
उन्नत देश जो था बस सपना बस यही था सपना उसका अपना तभी तो सब मोदी को चुनते.
The BJP's 2024 campaign slogan and theme place emphasis on the promises delivered in the last 5 years and the party's long-term objective of making India a developed country. Highlights the government's initiatives on job creation through startups and entrepreneurial loans. Also on the show, the farming community pins their hope on the upcoming budget. Lower cost of production, better crop prices and quicker disbursement of relief funds top their wish list. A special report. Well, India will be celebrating its 75th Republic Day tomorrow. The 90-minute parade in the national capital will be a grand display of India's military might and its rich cultural heritage. French President Emmanuel Macron will be gracing the occasion as the chief guest. For the first time ever, an all-women tri-services contingent will be part of this parade. Well, before we get to all of those stories, let's do a quick wrap of the day's market action. The 3-day trading week has ended with the Sensex and Nifty ending lower. Now, it was another choppy session, and while both indices managed to climb off the day's lows, it was not enough to break out into positive territory. Sensex and Nifty ended the day 0.5% lower. This has meant that these indices have closed the week down 1% each, making this a 2-week losing streak. The Nifty Bank continues to struggle, posting losses for 4 weeks in a trot. FPI has pulled out $3.5 billion worth of shares so far in January. However, the selling has been absorbed by DIIs to a great extent as they bought equities worth $2.5 billion. Prashant Nair is joining us now with a quick wrap of the day's market action. Prashant.
Well, it was a short work week, 3-day week, but it wasn't lacking for drama and volatility. Tuesday was a big day, 600 points, 650 points from the high to the low. You had Wednesday, which is yesterday, where the market swung about 350 points. And today, again, you had about a 250-point swing from the day's high to the low. Indecision and really lack of clarity about what the price action will indicate next. Let me just quickly run you through what happened. The Nifty will come up on your screen. In the last 30-40 minutes, there was a sharp recovery, and we ended actually far off the low points of the day, where the market was trading until about 3 p.m. or so. Banks have been the problem area, no help for the large cap Nifty index. And today was no different as well, but a little better as compared to what we saw yesterday. Mid caps and small caps up on your screen as well. I'll get to stocks in a bit. The losses on large cap Nifty index coming through in names like Tech Mahindra, Cipla, Bharti, these were the big losers. There were gainers coming through in Bajaj Auto, Adani Ports. There was Coal India, which did well. NTPC, IndusInd Bank and ICICI Bank participated a little bit in the upside as well. The public sector rally in the broader market continues, and there's no stopping that. So names like NBCC, RailTel, there was RITES, which went up sharply, Shipping Corporation, FACT, even newer names. I mean, Lester talked about names like MTNL coming into the fold, PTC, IFCI, Chennai Petro. I mean, it gives you an indication of the scale of the move here, all backed by strong volumes. Transformers and rectifiers India, it's up 60% this year. And we're not even done with January. Another big day for it. IFCI, you had JK Lakshmi Cements and Metro Brands, which moved up sharply today as well. There were pullbacks, mostly earnings related. So Laurus Laboratories, disappointing quarter. HPCL, numbers came through. IGL, similar story there. KEI, which reported day before yesterday, had a big up move yesterday, pullback today. Balkrishna Industries, Aarti Drugs, both reacting on the downside to earnings which came. There was a large block in PNB Housing, stock ending about 5% lower. KPIT and DCB Bank were some of the others. We head into a long weekend, which means we come back on Monday and there'll be 2 days of US market action to react to. And of course, I mean, this week really does not provide very much by way of clarity about what the market wants to do next. We've found support at important levels. The question is, we'll be able to defend them when we come back next week. Back to you.
Right, Prashant, thanks a lot for that quick wrap of the week's market action. Well, from earnings corner now today, it's been a good third quarter for Punjab National Bank as it beats the street's expectations across most parameters. A net profit jumped more than threefold, largely due to a higher than expected rise in net interest income. A low base also helped. The bank's asset quality has also improved, coming in at its best in 34 quarters. Meanwhile, cement major ACC's third quarter performance exceeded the expectations, helped by price hikes and strong demand for construction materials. Revenue rose over 8% and net profit jumped a higher than expected 378% year-on-year. Margins, meanwhile, expanded 18%. And JSW Steel largely beat the street's estimates as well for the third quarter. Net profit beat the street's expectations. Revenue grew over 7% but missed the street's estimates. The company has said that it is on track to meet their FY24 volumes guidance. And mining major Vedanta posted an 18% fall in its net profit at over 2,000 crore rupees for the third quarter. The decline was due to higher finance and raw materials cost amidst muted sales. Revenue grew by 5.5% year-on-year at 35,500 crore rupees. Margins, meanwhile, rose by 24% versus over 20% in the same quarter last year. And Ola has said that its India mobility business has turned EBITDA positive in FY23. The company reported a 48% rise in revenue. Founder Bhavesh Agarwal said that his team will evaluate an IPO for Ola Cabs in due course. Ola has also announced that Hemant Bakshi will be leading Ola Mobility as its CEO.
Quarter on quarter, we've seen an improvement, and that trend is continuing. So I'm very confident that we'll have very good results. Runway for growth in India across these three is really, really fantastic. I'm very excited with our mobility business, and you will see the penetration in India today is 8%. 92% of rides continue to be offline, and we will see that grow dramatically. So I'm very excited about our mobility business.
Well, the JSW Group has entered the defense sector by acquiring majority stake in Gecko Motors Private. Post this acquisition, Gecko Motors will be renamed as JSW Gecko Motors. Now, Gecko Motors had received an order worth 250 crore rupees from the Ministry of Defence to manufacture and supply 96 specialist mobility vehicles. Currently, these vehicles are being manufactured at JSW's Gecko's new setup manufacturing unit that's in Chandigarh, and it will be supplied to the armed forces by June of this year. Meanwhile, troubles continue for cash-strapped startup Byju's foreign lenders, who collectively hold 85% stake in the company, filed an insolvency petition earlier this week in the Bengaluru bench of the NCLT. Now, reports have suggested that the startup missed payments on $1.2 billion loan. The company has called any proceedings before the NCLT as premature and baseless, as the validity of lenders' actions are already under challenge in several proceedings. And food delivery platform Swiggy will lay off 400 employees as a part of its restructuring plan. The company second round of layoffs and will likely impact employees part of the tech and operations team. Now remember, the company had earlier laid off 380 employees in January of last year and shut down its meat marketplace in a bid to cut costs. Well, from Swiggy to its competitor Zomato Payments, a wholly owned subsidiary of Zomato, has received the Reserve Bank of India's nod to operate as a payment aggregator. In an exchange filing, the company has said that it will also issue prepayment instruments. This move will enable the entity to facilitate transactions on their platforms. And while the US aviation regulator has barred Boeing from expanding the production of 737 MAX planes until a quality control issue is resolved and ironed out. However, it has allowed the grounded MAX 9 planes to return to service after they were barred from flying since Alaska Air's mid-air window blowout incident. Well, back home, French President Emmanuel Macron landed in Jaipur for his two-day state visit tomorrow. He will become the 5th French president to grace the Republic Day celebrations as the chief guest. Prime Minister Modi, along with Macron, held roadshows in Jaipur. The French president's visit also comes at the 25th anniversary celebrations for India-France strategic partnership. Macron visited the Amer Fort with Jaishankar, Rajasthan's Deputy Chief Minister Diya Kumari. He also interacted with the local artisans and students. Well, moving ahead now, Aodha has taken up the mission of powering the whole city with the help of solar energy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the Pradhan Mantri Suryodaya Yojana, a scheme to install solar rooftops in 1 crore households in the country. The National Thermal Corporation is setting up a 40-megawatt solar power plant in Aodha, which is expected to generate full power by March 31st. Shivani Bajaj and Arundhati Ramanan take a look at Ayodhya's first steps towards going green.
Well, one among the many ambitious projects taken up by the Aodha authorities is the Solar City project, an amalgamation of Ayodhya's spiritual history of Suryavansh and India's future plans towards energy transition. In CM Yogi Adityanath's words, Ayodhya is the capital of Suryavansh, so here electricity will not come from any other source but from renewable solar energy. Interestingly, the Ram temple, the street lamps that you can see in the background on the road leading to the Ram temple, most of the government offices in Ayodhya are now fully or partially using solar energy, and the capacity is being built to make Ayodhya a full solar city by 2028.
The initiative involves creating a solar park on the Saryu riverbanks, introducing solar-powered boats, deploying more solar streetlights like these ones that line the 12.9-kilometer long main road to the temple, and integrating solar energy into public transport. Additionally, new government buildings will be solar powered and older ones will transition to full solar electrification.
We have a massive solar plant coming up here. Already some land was allocated to the NTPC. Some 150-acre land was allotted to them, and they have already installed the solar infrastructure over there. Apart from that, in the entire city, we are encouraging all the private individuals, all the property owners, that they should install solar solar panels on their rooftops. Also, all government buildings now, they also, if you go to my office or collector's office, we have all these solar things coming up. Also, a large number of solar street lights have been installed all over Ayodhya.
Approximately 40 parks in Ayodhya will be illuminated using solar power, incorporating solar trees to highlight the temple town's renewable energy push. A significant aspect of the Solar City project is the establishment of a 40 megawatt solar plant on the Saryu riverbanks led by NTPC Green.
The Aodha solar power project, spanning across 165 acres with a robust capacity of 40 megawatts, is a significant venture with the fund allocation of around 200 crore rupees. This initiative is not only environmentally impactful, preventing approximately 80,000 tons of carbon dioxide emissions annually, but will also play a crucial role in meeting 30% of Ayodhya's electricity requirement upon its completion in March this year. Remarkably, the plant extends its contribution to fulfilling the electricity demand of the prestigious Ram Mandir. With 104,000 modules slated for installation, the project aims for operational efficiency. With Vijay Pradeep Kumar, this is Shivani Bajaj for CNBC-TV18.
Well, there was a ruckus inside Air India's staff colony near the Mumbai International Airport when residents clashed with the police. They blocked the bulldozers opposing the demolition of their buildings. While the Mumbai airport claims it needs the land for expansion activity, residents demand that they won't vacate until their retirement. Madhya Mujawar reports on the core issues and the legal dispute.
Residents of the Air India staff colony in Mumbai clashed with police as they began demolishing the residential buildings.
I'm inside one of the 4 colonies of the Air India employees in Kalina in Mumbai, and the building that you're seeing behind me is where demolition activity was being carried out. The demolition could not continue and the workers could only break a balcony after residents of not just this colony but the other 3 colonies gathered here. There was a huge ruckus and the residents objected to the demolition work and the demolition workers had to leave.
They got a 2 big van of police with heavy machineries and all like that. We are having negotiation and talking that why they came, for what purpose they came. We were just having clarity about that. Suddenly there one of the people came and their machinery was stationed here and they started breaking that our flat. So all of our people rushed and came here.
These 4 colonies are built on the land owned by the Airport Authority of India. They are just 300 meters away from the Mumbai International Airport, and therefore the Adani Group, which operates the Mumbai International Airport, claims this land belongs to the airport and should be used for development and expansion activities. Employees continue to live in this colony even after the airport was taken over by GVK and later taken over by the Adani Group. But after the privatization of Air India, the airline had told employees to vacate these houses. The employees were not ready. They demanded they should be allowed to live in these colonies until their retirement, as was mentioned in their service agreement.
हमारा अभी कोर्ट केस चल रहा है और केस स्टिल प्रोसीडिंग इन सुप्रीम कोर्ट. तो जब तक उन लोग का कुछ डिसीजन नहीं आता तो इन लोगों को ये डिमोलिशन करने का डॉक्यूमेंटेशन नोटिस ये सब कुछ नहीं करना चाहिए ना उन्हें.
If they break this building, so our drainage line and water connection are connecting to each and every one, and they will get affected.
While the residents of this colony allege Mumbai Airport did not have any valid permissions to conduct demolition activity, Mumbai Airport says it had all the valid documents to initiate the demolition work. It also says that they're only demolishing those buildings which are dilapidated. They say there are 20 such buildings in this particular colony that are in dilapidated condition, and only those buildings are being demolished. The other 80 plus buildings are not being touched. This is what the Mumbai Airport claims.
वो इस बेसिस पे आ रहे हैं कि हम लोग वैकेंट जो बिल्डिंग्स है हम उसको डिमोलाइज करने के लिए आ रहे हैं. बट क्या है मैम, ये सब कनेक्टेड है. अगर ये टूटती है तो हमारा इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, वाटर का ये सब डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगा.
These 4 colonies were homes to about 1,600 families when Air India was owned by the government. Most of these buildings are now vacant as over 1,200 families have already moved out after the new Air India management's order.
The Supreme Court in its latest judgment had ordered that no coercive action should be taken until there is a final verdict announced in this matter. The next hearing in this case is scheduled for the 13th of February. With cameraman Swapnil, this is Madiha for CNBC TV18.
Well, coming up on India Business Hour, the farming community pins their hope on the upcoming budget. Lower cost of production, better crop prices and quicker disbursement of relief funds top their wish list. We bring you a special report. And you can also catch all CNBC TV18's news and updates on Facebook, X, Threads, Instagram and JioCinema. Well, 12 people have been confirmed dead amidst fighting and in and around a United Nations shelter in Khan Yunis, housing thousands of Palestinians. Egyptian President El-Sisi has accused Israel of holding up aid to Gaza. UK Foreign Secretary Cameron has met Netanyahu in Jerusalem and raised the importance of a two-state solution. In more international news, US Navy has shot down 2 missiles after 2 Maersk shipping vessels dialed SOS on the back of an explosion in the Gulf of Aden. Maersk has said that the crew, the ship and the cargo remain safe and unharmed. Maersk's US subsidiary has now suspended Red Sea transits. Well, back home, as the Modi government prepares the battle for a third term in power, the agricultural community, which wakes up a sizable portion of the voting public, has some big hopes. CNBC TV18 Santya Gora reports that many farmers in Maharashtra hope that the interim budget, which will be presented on the 1st of February, will hold proposals that will improve their livelihoods, from measures that lower the cost of production to better prices for their crops to quicker disbursement of relief funds. Take a look.
These 4 acres of land belong to 33-year-old Krishna Jadhav of Sarole Khurd village in Maharashtra's Nashik district. And the grapes he has sown here cost him 8 lakh rupees. Then came unseasonal rains and destroyed half his crop. Jadhav and his fellow farmers in the area say they really need their sowing and farming costs to come down if they are to make a living and survive any more climatic shocks.
प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट कैसे कम हो सकती है, उस क्रॉप को मार्केट में जब सेल का टाइम आए उस टाइम उनको दाम कैसे ज़्यादा मिल सकता है, उसके अलावा जो बैंकों के इंश्योरेंस है क्रॉप के लिए वो कम से कम प्रीमियम में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कैसे, अगर कुछ नेचुरली हानि होती तो कैसे उनको मुनाफा मिलेगा, ये चीज़ों पे ज़्यादा ध्यान देनी चाहिए.
A quicker disbursal of compensation for crop damage is also a key ask, since many of the farmers have been waiting for over a year for compensation for crops damaged, and with every climatic disturbance since, the compensation due to them has only been piling up. Other demands include a review of government policies like an export ban on wheat, non-basmati rice and onion, which result in income streams drying up.
सब सब्सिडी देने से काम चलने वाला नहीं है. ये करना चाहिए कि एक्सपोर्ट का निर्यात जो हर साल बंद करते हैं चालू करते हैं, ये चालू रहना चाहिए. किसानों को सब्सिडी की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं. हमी भाव यानी रास्त भाव दे दो, सब्सिडी की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं.
प्याज का मार्केट गिर गया है, अंगूर का मार्केट गिर गया है, एक्सपोर्ट होना चाहिए. वो उनसे बात करनी चाहिए गवर्नमेंट से कि ये उठाना चाहिए.
खाद हो या पेस्टिसाइड हो, उसका 18% से 28% तक हम जीएसटी देते हैं. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि जो भी चीज़ें खेती में लगती है उसका जीएसटी आप क्यों नहीं कैंसिल कर सकते.
In 2015, when the Modi government's first full budget was read out, the allocation for the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare was 25,460 crore rupees. This was increased to a little over 1,38,000 crores in 2022 and then cut slightly to 1,25,000 crores in budget 2023. This even as the government promised to double farmer incomes by 2022. Farmers say this has not happened, but hope the government, in a run-up to the next general elections, will move some largesse their way. Experts, however, point out that with this being an interim budget, proposals involving long-term structural changes may not feature.
10 years back, the short-term measures used to occupy only about 10% of the allocation. But in last year's budget, it was about 90% of the allocation. So there are more short-term measures being prioritized where the farmers can see immediate results, immediate cash in hand.
Farmers are fine with short-term measures that can put cash in their pockets, but say rollback of restrictive policies like an export ban or higher prices for their produce will also take precedence. The other ask is that promises being made in the budget be implemented quickly and efficiently. In Nashik, Santiago.
Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Business Hour. Thank you so much for watching. News and updates will continue right here on CNBC TV 18.